and it looks like we are finally seeing some green across the board. I mean, it's sort of mathematically, I mean, it's not a great day in the green because we've had so many days in the red. It's almost like a sad day in the green. Unless, of course, you were somebody who chose to get in on board when we were at the all-time lows of the crash, which was essentially the peak of the sale. And I'd just like to start the stream off by saying congratulations to everybody who took advantage of the all-time lows, because you were that special group of people who are now benefiting from the the rest of our tiers, essentially. And I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with that. This is cryptocurrency. This is a very volatile space. And of course, we see the market cap at 281 at the time of making this video. And of course, must hurt a lot of people to see going down and up and down. And I think those of us who've been involved with cryptocurrency for any amount of years, we're probably a little bit more used to these sort of irregular occurrences of extreme volatility. But it's happened before. I mean, it's happened a couple times this year to this extent. But of course, when we see it up, we want to see it stay up. But I mean, I guess that there's a different way of looking at everything. And today we're actually going to be talking about Ripple XRP, and I'm very excited to actually be talking about Ripple in the current situation and dynamics regarding cryptocurrency. And so we see Ripple CEO claims Bitcoin is under control of small group of miners in China. That's a pretty bold claim. However, I have often suspected that Bitcoin was under control to a certain extent. And this actually leads me to a fundamental point that I've been trying to make all along, really. And that's that I predict that one day the time of seeing Bitcoin in the number one position might go bye-bye. One day we might see another technology rise up and overtake the number one position. And I wouldn't entirely discredit Ripple. I wouldn't entirely discredit really, I mean, people have thought about Ethereum being the one to overtake Bitcoin. But I'm going to make basically I'm going to say that I think the best bet would be Ripple in the blockchain is about growth, not cost. All right. Ripple. Yeah, so I mean, it is interesting to see how these things have been coming together. And William Shatner betting on the Bitcoin price with solar powered. I don't care. Bitcoin is crashing. Yeah, all these, you're a little late, CNBC. The crash was pretty much yesterday. But I admire your concern. Yeah, the relationship between Ripple and XRP is something that we're really going to have to face as a community. I mean, I've done extensive research to understand the actual relationship between Ripple and XRP, and I feel like a lot of people ignore that detail. when doing research into cryptocurrency, and that's really a fatal flaw because understanding that is really pivotal to seeing where Ripple is going to go. Now, I understand any moment Ripple could choose to abandon XRP and leave us all in the dust, but I'd argue that that would be the end of both of them. I don't think that it's within. I can't wait for regulation to take place and stop with all this manipulation that is taking place, and then we will see the players come in 20 trillion market, but only when regulations take place. Yeah, I think you're echoing a something that we all feel, because obviously the space is pretty manipulated as it currently stands, and with that we're going to see those. Nobody wants to lose $1 billion. It's pretty obvious. So right now, all we can do is, if people want to play the game, that's up to them. Just remember, this is not financial advice. This is a video for entertainment, educational purposes only. Remember, I'm not your dad, but at the end of the day, I think it's we are at an advantageous position nonetheless in the greater context of crypto and the developments that we can hope to be seeing later on down the line. And I think that it's important just to have tough skin in this space. You really can't, you can't be one of those people who just reads one headline or buys into the hype. That's really what this channel is dedicated to, working against. I would like to see people do more research, and I think things like this would happen less because people might foresee these things coming. But you look on how is any individual crypto really impacted by the current dynamic, and things tend to just move along the same as ever. Obviously, if this is your first rodeo, you're going to take falling off the horse a little bit more personally than somebody who's just ready to jump right back on. But I would say that Cardano is definitely a technology that I'm looking forward to paying attention to. The work that they've been doing, I think it really is the third generation of crypto. That being said, if Bitcoin was the first and then Ethereum was the second with smart contracts, we're entering in an age now where a new technology does have a window of opportunity to rise up and see some significant public attention. And we've talked about Ripple before on here, and I think that Ripple definitely does have an exciting roadmap. That's everything, guys. Have a good one.